kind of Tais Legacy, the way it's kept the momentum and, you know, being centred around his name. That's what I'm saying. That's where I'm starting to understand his impact. Do you know what I mean? The more this sticks around, the more this sustains itself around the brand of Tais. It's like, oh, okay, now I understand who he was as an artist.
Yeah. And he's had a following, a proper following. Like, when you go to certain events, you're gonna see certain people all the time. He's definitely got a certain following. Like I was saying before the camera started rolling, I didn't realise how big Tais was until he died.
Killa Kela podcast. KillaKelaOfficial.com.
Street Culture TV.
Beatbox created.
Killa Kela.
And we're here to talk about world music and street culture.
Killa Kela podcast.
I ain't in for a treat. Ladies and gentlemen, Killa Kela podcast, live and direct, central London, or as central as you need to be, could be, should be, don't want to be anywhere else. And believe that, baby, power with 647 plus episodes. There's no excuse. And if you haven't been here before, then serves you right. Dive in to at least 24 hours worth of pure Killa Kela. Who wouldn't want it? Okay, people, our sponsors, the mighty GK Nifty Heads, have 10,000 play to earn GraffPunks NFTs to give away. Get ready as London's white trash goes blockchain digital with Bitcoin Cash tokens locked into them to claim. Get yourselves over to the website gkniftyheads.com and play to earn now. And who want to be a part of this? This is an ensemble of the creme de la creme. If you don't know the faces of these, well, let me just break it down for you. It's the 5th anniversary of the mighty Tais Rest in Peace Pastor Torch anniversary fundraiser. And inside the house, we have some reputable low G's inside the place. We have Karl Hinds, Skeme, Skan inside the place. We are celebrating the man's legacy right here. How are we, gentlemen?
Yeah, we're blessed, brother, man. Thank you for having us.
We got Donnie's in the building. How are we all?
Yeah, man, we're good. We're good. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, Skeme made a pact he won't coming on no more podcasts.
Yeah, it was Killa Kela, innit? They said Killa Kela is my I ain't seen you in a long time, so I thought, you know what, let me come, you know?
Yeah,
and because it's Tais.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
sure.
So, yeah,
absolutely.
Do the thing, it's only right.
And he touched all of our hearts. He was somebody that was so, you know, I do hope we're channeling into the people that know this gentleman very well and the importance, but in equal measure, there'll be some people that, you know, are fresh out the gate to his legacy. Karl, I mean, let's just get into the subject of his life and celebratory life.
I mean, like, for me personally, Tais was, in my opinion, he was like the Posdnuos of the UK. And I've never heard, you know, that's just my personal, how I kind of sort of positioned him in the game. Do you know what I mean? And we was just talking off camera about, kind of feel like, when Tais passed, it became apparent at that point, do you know what I mean? Like, how much influence he's had in the UK and beyond. And I don't think that I really understood that until he passed, and the Skeme was just saying that. And I don't think Tais understood that. I think it's becoming more and more, as the years go on, it's becoming more and more evident his impact across the whole scene. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think he was a unique artist. I don't think there was anyone in the UK that was comparable to his delivery, his style.
For sure.
Do you know what I mean?
And comparables of how important he was for Brixton as a UK hip hop MC. I mean, you know, you had memorial pieces, big up Bunny B, State of Art, you know, just having that in the very same way Bowie was as well.
Yeah.
Which was something that you had.
You don't get memorials unless you've done something or you've touched people in some sort of way.
Yeah.
1,000%.
Definitely.
You know what I mean?
Well, Wisdom, you were the gentleman that kind of brought this collaboration of the podcast together.
Right.
Thanks so much, bruv. Like, explain the mission brief in terms of event.
Right, so the Pass the Torch for Tais in particular came off the back of Tais' initial Pass the Torch event that was held at Jazz Cafe in 2019. And he kind of used it as like almost like a love letter to UK hip hop. Like, they had so many Donnies on the lineup, like the venue was packed. It kind of gave you that feeling of like the early 2000s where we used to have the monthly hip hop jams and everybody would come out. You know, that level of excitement was in the building for this event. And I remember I was just in the audience, I wasn't even on the lineup. And I remember, because I've got a background in stage management, and events management. So I'm watching it and I'm seeing the curfew come in, and there's about 4 acts still to go, and there's like this panic starts
Sounds
to
like
happen.
classic UK hip hop.
So it's like, so he's just rushing people on, do a quick 2 songs and off and on and off. And I was like, oh man, you know what? Let me offer my services. Let me just try and help out. So I came on board for the remaining shows throughout that year and just worked in the background and made sure that they flowed nice. Yes. And then when he passed away into 2020, I was like the only one that was aware that there were still jazz cafe shows in the agreement that were unused. So it was like, do you know what? What's the best way to celebrate this man's legacy than to have a Pass the Torch for Thai event? So in 2021, we did that on his birthday. And we had his touring band came down, and select artists came on stage, did covers of his songs,
That was crazy.
performed their own songs, and it was such a beautiful night. It was really emotional. And initially, it was just supposed to be a one and done, you know, just done the event.
I remember it, I was there.
Yeah, he was there. So, but then after that, it was like there was such an outreach and outpouring of, you know what, we need to do this again. Let's try and make this an annual thing, you know. And even though it's a celebration of Thai, it's still a love letter to UK hip hop. You know what I mean? We're bringing, like, every year we switch up the lineup, we bring in more artists, most of them who have a personal connection with Thai. We raise money for charity, so it's a fundraiser as well. You know, so the Brixton Soup Kitchen is a charity that he personally endorsed.
Wow.
So every year, so far we've raised over $4,000 for this charity, you know, as well as doing these events.
$4,000, you know.
I know.
Banging.
And so eventually, 2023, we moved out the Jazz Cafe and we made a decision to just hold the event in Brixton because he's such a Brixton-centric artist.
Iconic in Brixton.
Yeah.
Right? Wow.
So like every year we've gone from a different like landmark venue in Brixton while still raising money and still keeping it going. And then here we are, this is the 5th year now.
It's it.
Yes.
It's a rarity. It's a rarity. You know, might fizzle out after a couple.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that goes back
It's
to-
not going to fizzle and go anywhere. So,
Yeah, that goes back to like kind of Tais legacy, the way it's kept the momentum and you know being centered around his name. That's what I'm saying. That's where I'm starting to understand his impact. Do you know what I mean? The more this sticks around, the more this sustains itself around the brand of Thai. It's like, oh, okay, now I understand who he was as an artist.
Yeah.
And he's had a following, a proper following. Like when you go to certain events, you're gonna see certain people all the time. He's definitely got a certain following. Like I was saying before the camera started rolling, I didn't realise how big Thai was until he died. I would put hands up. But even when I first came into contact with, I'm a real one, I'll tell you the truth. When I first came into contact with Thai's music, I didn't understand it. I didn't get it. And one night I went to Scala. Yeah, and he was performing and Scala was packed. I think it was his actual show, and he had the band and he had the singers, the harmony, and I stood up there and I watched a performance, a proper artist. That's when I got it. I was like, he's not a rapper, he's actually an artist and a musician. Do you know what I mean? In a different sense.
Yeah.
And that's when I saw it, and I remember I went backstage. And I saw him and I said to him, you know what, bruv? Because he knew I didn't get it. And I said to him that evening, you know what, bruv? I get it. I get it. And he just looked at me, yeah, and just kind of laughed. And then even like after knowing him, certain times we would clash, but the reason why we would clash because we're similar, we're very opinionated and we stand on our square.
I was going to say, to tell Ty that you didn't get it, that's
But
pretty cool.
but we do it in a totally different way.
Yeah.
And then when you realise you clash, but you clash because you're similar
Sure.
and you respect that person's way kind of thing. And then after that, we were calm and I really got it. Do you know what I mean? Because he's very opinionated, and I rate that in people. Even if you ain't got the same opinions as me, if you believe you're right and you stand on it,
Yeah.
So, Ty is a person where I've got to say I've got a lot of respect for him.
Yeah.
A lot of respect for him.
You're right about the music side of things because all of a sudden it comes into its own when you see him live. He's jumping around. I remember seeing him chip shop and he's just all over the place. Like he's a artist, performer.
And also that night when the tribute, when people were doing these songs, a lot of people found it hard to replicate Tais Flow. proper MCs found it hard because his flow is, you might listen to it and think it sounds, but if you try and replicate that, that's hard because he's got a melody in there too.
Yeah,
it's
that's
a
right.
different, like it's harder than what a lot of people.
Tonality and things like that.
It's very expression. That's all a lot of breath control, and if you don't really understand what MCing is, so a lot of people found it really hard. Where there's loads of rappers you could have given them like to learn one of their rhymes and they would have learned it flawless. It would have been easy to do. I noticed with Titan, even talking to Shawnee T, who did one of the tunes, and how hard it was for Shawnee to replicate Tais Flow, which is, do you know what I mean? Another thing that I don't think he probably gets credit for. I don't think people would give him credit for that. But if you know about flow, timing and stuff like that, you'll know. You'll know.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I mean, for me, Tais' style was it was definitely individualistic. And Ty had this thing of where he was spitting at certain parts in the flow, it kind of almost switched to kind of rhythmically, almost singing, but not quite there. Do you know what I mean? And I think that at that time that wasn't. I mean, that's more common now. Because as the styles have evolved now, that's kind of what it is now. But back then, when Ty was doing it, that was more of a statement. It was more individualistic.
For sure, he almost. I mean, I don't know if it's the right word, but it's a feeling that carries when I say it. He almost had a disruptive vocal, a disruptive voice within what would be quite linear in the scene. Even his flow and the way he would do it, it's
totally different.
Yeah. It was jolty. It was a tonality, which and he almost developed that to a knack that, like you were saying, it became almost that's a Thai signature. And there's other things that are going on. People are doing things and kind of mirroring certain sounds.
Even one of the tunes. What's the tune? One of his tunes, one of his big tunes. But I was listening to it maybe about a year and a half ago, and I was like, everyone thinks that this is a happy-go-lucky, jolly tune, yeah? And actually, lyrically, getting at MCs, yeah? He's proper getting at, man, yeah? And I was listening to it, I was like, you know what? I wish he was here so I could ask him who he was getting at. Because, he's doing his little singing bits and his little, but the lyrics and the substance of the tune, he's getting at people. And I was like, you know what? I didn't ever listen to this tune like that.
From that
perspective. I wasn't really listening to it lyrically, if you see what I'm saying.
I think that might be, I got
the
more.
melodies.
That's what I was thinking.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
And that's the song that really epitomizes what we was talking about when he kind of switches from straight spitting into kind of like singing flowality kind of thing, but that's what I was thinking of.
That's the song.
Yeah. Because let's not forget the beats as well. I mean, Jesus, like the hand-picked, hand-designed, crafted.
It's him and Drew, isn't it?
Yeah, crazy.
But he once said in one of the interviews that I did with him is that he sourced a sample for every song that he's done. So he's had an incredible record collection where he's hand-picked the samples for every single one of his tracks that appeared on all his albums.
That's a fact, yeah.
So some of his ear for samples is immaculate as well.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
The Brixton tune, it was almost like summer in a track. You can play that anywhere.
I agree.
You can play that anywhere in the world, people. It doesn't have to be Brixton. But it's a scoop of culture, just in one here, this is that.
Yeah.
Again, able to translate that in such simple, which some people can't do simple like that.
You know what? The reason that tune hit me is I didn't hear that tune until after he died. I didn't even know the tune existed. You know what I mean? So listening to it from that point of view, I was like, I didn't even understand that he was repping where he was from in that kind of way. That's like an equivalent to, NWA talking about Compton or, do you know what I mean? It's like, so I was like, it was another level. And that's what I'm saying, like after he died, I started to, really overstand him as an artist and kept peeling layers or whatever. And thinking, I didn't know that tune even existed until after he passed.
Yeah. I mean, this is legacy right here we're talking. The reason why we can talk so candidly about a gentleman like Ty is because the people on the panel here have got careers of their own and have walked paths and crossed boards across the UK and beyond with the likes of Ty, and Karl, I know you've. Oh God, we go back. You know,
1,000%.
let's get into your journey. How did it all begin, bro?
My journey, all right. So I've always wanted to run my own label and put music out. Like, so when I was a kid, I used to put tapes together, cassette tapes together, and practice packaging the artwork and shit like that. And I used to sell it in school just to try to get an understanding of how you put a label together. So it was always in my blood. And to raise the money, I started a label called Assassin Records, which was meant to be a hip hop label. But at the time, Jungle was killing it. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I got Caribbean parents, so all the samples was in my front room. So I thought, okay, let me try raise some money to get this hip hop thing kicking off. And by the time I'd accumulated that money, that label was like, I don't know, 17 releases in. So I started Ill Flavor, which is still going to this day. So that's kind of like my background, my thing into it.
Whereabouts are you based?
I'm in East London.
That's at East London.
Yeah.
There you go, see? Representing all the areas. I mean, your clock must have gone back coming over this side. Skeme, what about yourself, my brother? How did it all begin? I mean, come on.
Journey.
Big up Big P as well, huh?
Wow, yeah, salute Big P. Wow, sound system, basically. Grabbing mics and sound system from when I was like probably about 7 years of age. Like, I had a lot of sound system, people and music around me, and I had a lot of access to it, basically. And so, yeah, and one of the biggest sound systems that the world's ever heard of, Saxon, was like one of the places that I got to hold a mic when I was young. And when I started wanting to rap, they had a studio, so it was on my doorstep, so I checked them. One of the owners of the sound, Dennis Rowe, at the time was liking a lot of the hip hop, even though he was from the dancehall. He was liking a lot of the hip hop, especially like the conscious stuff. So he let us go in the studio, and that is where I recorded my first tune that came out, which was called Man Hustling, which was a double A side.
That even you saying that takes me back.
And on the other side was
crazy.
A tune by Roots Maneuver called The Fever. So no one knew of me, but I got on the other side of Roots Maneuver's thing, and it went from there. And to be honest, that was for me, that was like a cold sign, because I was on a Roots Maneuver song. Yeah. So I kind of didn't have to. I don't know. I think when I started especially when I started performing live, it was already like, okay, he's on that level. We can't kind of. So I got into performing with like MCD, the Rodney P's, the people that were more established, that was already established. I kind of jumped up on that level. I got to do Max and Dave when they were doing it and stuff like that. So all of the stuff was all of the people were just like, okay, you're new, but you're rapping with them and you don't sound like you're below, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was getting a good response. So yeah, that was a good way of coming in it. And then after that, really and truly, it kind of took off with Titan Sounds.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, that's where it really took off, where I did a few tracks with Titan Sounds, and yeah, for the UK hip hop thing, that was it at the time, you know what I mean? I was on, basically. So.
Created huge dents in the scene. Both of you, man. Fucking crazy.
I remember when I came in the game, I came in after Skeme. I mean, you lot did a tour, right?
Yeah, Rap Revolution.
That tour was what I kept hearing about. I mean, it was before me, so I didn't see it, didn't witness it. I don't know what happened in that tour, but I kept hearing about this tour.
We done Damage, mate. 10 city tour
Jesus
all over
Christ.
England. There wasn't really, people weren't really doing stuff like that, and we basically did it. We had the idea, we did it. We didn't know what we were doing. We found a man that thought he knew what he was doing, and with all the heads together, it sort of worked. And then we started getting sponsorship from 55 DSL, and I think it was BBC was following us on certain things and filming stuff. It was mad. It was wicked. It was wicked. Because I've been on things after,
doesn't it? It's weird how it works.
I've been on things afterwards, but that, because it was none of us knew what we were doing, but we just knew we were going out and going to have a wicked time. It was just a vibe. It was crazy.
That's all I kept hearing about.
It was nuts. Like I remember going to, because remember this is before YouTube. This is before certain things. So when I'm going to Scotland and I'm hearing people in Scotland chatting my lyrics in a Scottish accent, and I remember we went to Bristol. I've been to certain places out of London before. I've been to quite a few places out of London before. We're not going to say why, but I did. So like I'll be there, no one knows me. All of a sudden, we're going up to these mad places and everyone's recognising me. That's partly because of the Dark and Cold DVD, DVD I was going to say, video, video cassette that they had circulated all around this bloody country. So like when I went to places like Scotland, they already knew my lyrics. I remember when I went to Bristol and I came out in St Paul's, I was like, wow, mad. People know me, people knew the lyrics. We went to even sleepy little places that we went to, like Norwich and like Norfolk and that. I remember one place we was in, we had so much people on the stage, like girls wanted to come on the stage, one of the stage broke down. We were paying the bouncers to let extra people in with the, you know what I mean, because we was reaching capacity, and yeah, it was mad. It was, but it was nice because you realised like they're thirsting for it. We're all around the UK. They're first. No one can't tell me nothing about this music now.
And you know you're doing well.
Thirsting for it.
And you're going to places like Leamington Spa, for instance, or
all kinds of places. York. You know what I mean? Like places I didn't think that would be. So yeah, it was. That's the background.
The circulation. Going back to the label side of things, Carl. It's like having that resourcefulness of artists that want to be out on tour, on road, doing their thing, and you were one of them. To get out. Where's that proactiveness come from? Is that youthful wisdom or something? What is that?
I'm not really sure what it was. I mean, I just remember when I was growing up, I was just fixated with what label people were on. Do you know what I mean? Like my family, heavy roots reggae, and so the earliest images that I remember being captivated by was Rasta Man. And red, gold and green on all the covers, whatever, and then from there I wanted to understand the mechanics behind it, how it was being pushed out and who the labels were. And when hip hop came about, that interest transferred over to hip hop, and I just wanted, I'm not really sure exactly where it came from, I just wanted my part in it. And I'd heard little horror stories about record labels and this, that and the third. I was like, well, F that. I'm not going to wait for somebody to give me permission to be accepted. I'm going to take it to the people directly.
Just go for it.
Just go for it. Do you know what I mean? So like, I used Assassin Records as sort of like my training ground, or whatever. And then we came out with a song called Don Grammar, which was not a bad intro. Do you know what I mean? And,
get your Google on, by the way, people. Don't feel like you've got to hang around here too long. Get that new page up and start Googling as we're talking.
What I will say about that song is that a lot of people forget that at that time, the debate about whether you should rap in a UK accent or a US accent was permeating, and man was 50-50 split. There was a lot of people in the game that were making arguments, nonsensical arguments about rapping in a foreign, dialect or whatever. So I was expecting beef when I came in to be an artist that no one heard of and tell the game, listen, this is how you're supposed to be rapping. This is the point of hip hop or whatever. I was expecting a lot of resistance. But that was the beginning of the label. So the first song was Don Grammar, and I would say, even Rodney has said it before, like that ended the debate about whether you're supposed to rhyme in your native tongue or not. And of course you are.
Big up Rodney P as well, another friend of the podcast.
Of course.
For real. And another person that's got his stripes and Access All Area passes hanging around his neck like nobody's business, Brother Skan, tell us more about your story, my brother, and moreover, how it connects with the story of Tai.
Right, okay. So my background as an artist, I'm part of a group called Freshers alongside Dre Styles and Archer. We've been in operation for about 11 years now. Nice. We're a group, but what separates us from other groups is that we're all individual artists as well. So we kind of form like Voltron. So outside of how we function as Freshers, I'm also a journalist, a hip hop journalist. I work for I Am Hip Hop magazine.
Big up I Am Hip Hop magazine.
Big up, yeah, Richmond and the team.
Shuts.
I'm also one half of the Connoisseurs of Hip Hop.
Yes.
That's with myself and DJ Tom Foodery. And I would say we were one of the early, I guess you remember Combat Jack back in the day, where he used to do those long form interviews with hip hop artists.
Yeah.
We was on that a decade ago. And we made that a regular thing. We've interviewed the majority of artists in the UK hip hop scene over the years. We put a book
Some
out.
high level artists as well.
Yeah,
right? Like-
well, not just UK and
Yeah,
US,
all over, yeah.
international. We put a book out in 2020. We've got a sequel on the way, which is UK hip hop focused. My relationship with Ty probably began during those early interviews over a decade ago. Just like everybody else, I was a fan. I'm at all the shows, you know, covering them, like doing the interviews, whatever. And I guess as you get to see artists more and more at the festivals, at the events, at the shows, you start to build friendships and relationships, and that's how things progressed, you know, to the point where a lot of the people, when I was a kid, sit down like most other people, listen to Friday Night Flavors and all the hip hop shows on my cassette tape, record it, listen to it on the way to school. Listening to these people like Karl and Skeme like they were superheroes, you know, to me. Only, I guess, 20 years later to be able to call a lot of them friends now is a major thing for me.
Yeah, it's
Sitting there ringing up Killa Kela, I was like, what's going on? You know what I mean? So it's yeah, to be honest with you, right now, it's a beautiful time. We're trying to bring back that feeling, that unified feeling that we once had, you know, of just celebrating these artists, you know. I mean, even though it's a thing that we're celebrating Ty after he passed away, I want to celebrate artists like Skeme, Karl Hinds while they're here.
Yeah, for
you know?
real.
You know, and open them up to more bigger audiences, new generations. You know, like I want you lot to know why these guys are heroes to me. You know,
And to a lot of other people.
And to a lot of other people. You see what I'm saying? So that's why it's so important to do events like this. You know, we mentioned earlier, even though Pass the Torch for Ty is a celebration for Ty and his legacy, it's also a love letter to UK hip hop.
And it's a future forward, going back 2 steps, forward 3, and giving people the opportunity to witness hip hop throughout the decades of Ty's life, but then rolling into some new shit.
Yeah. These are the current legends, the future legends. It's all of that, and that's why this event is so pivotal, you know. And that's why we need the scene to get on board. If you're not doing anything on the 17th of August, come down.
So who have you got on the lineup?
So the lineup, we've got Eska, obviously is a singer that's international, just dropped an incredible album. Done a lot of work with Ty while he was alive.
Beautiful.
And an artist that I've been trying to get on these fundraisers for like 5 years, because she's always
Isn't it
busy.
great when it comes to fruition, you're just like, yeah.
And then
made
this
it.
year she was like, yep, I'm on board. I was like, wow, you know. Obviously Skeme, Karl Hinds, Tremendous from High Focus Records is performing.
Wow. Killer.
Yeah. Apex Zero,
Nice.
Archer,
Boy.
with 2C87 and DJ Maintain. We got DJ Snuff on the decks.
Yeah, big up Snuff.
Nicky Stylist.
Yeah, come on.
Hosted by the legend himself, Fusion, who's going to be premiering.
Old Type Fusion, yeah.
He's going to be premiering some films that he'd made specifically for this. So the unique, bespoke thing about these events is that you're going to see some stuff you've never seen before.
I've got a question for you. So let's go back to the first time you went and saw Tais Pass the Torch.
Okay.
And there was about 4 or 5 other artists and about 10 more minutes before they have to shut off. How are you managing all of that lineup? It sounds incredible, but it's a lot.
Oh, we organised this time.
Really?
we got a running order. Everything's like
Yeah, it
professional
sounds
behind the
incredible.
scenes.
It sounds like one hell of a jam session as well. Like the idea of everyone coming together. It's like, I'm definitely going to try and pass.
Yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful event. It's like I said, it's a feel good event. You know, it's a fundraiser. We're raising money for an important cause in Brixton.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just a special time. You know, to see something like this.
I bet you lads are looking forward to it.
It should be
100%.
Definitely.
100%.
The last one in the summer was good too. Like, it was a good turnout.
And we always do it on Ty's birthday.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's the kicker. That's even better. This place is going to round out.
Yeah.
This one's gonna be different, and there are surprises trust me, there are surprises.
If that don't whet your appetite, you've got a salivation problem.
Trust me.
What's the future, gentlemen, outside of the Pass the Torch this year?
Album coming, don't ask when, it's coming. Life's been lifing, it's coming. Like everywhere I go, people, Jesus. Like, yeah, people won't let me leave me alone with this rap thing. I'm telling you.
Serves you right.
Yeah. So, but it's good. It's nice. It's nice.
Brilliant
like,
Skeme. Brilliant. That makes me happy.
New music will be coming at some point.
Nice. Carl?
Yeah, same.
Oh, you're coming back on though. We're gonna have a chat.
Yeah, I'm coming back on, but there's an album coming. Have Patience 2, Recency Bias. That's the name of the album.
Nice.
And I've been working on it for a couple of years. Getting ready to drop the first single soon. Got a little surprise on the night of the performance at Pass the Torch, so yeah, looking forward to it. But yeah, more music. There's an artist called New Rules that's got an album coming after me on Ill Flavour. Couple other things that I won't talk about right now, but a few other things lined up. But the album is the main focus. New Karl Hinds album.
See? What more do you want? Come on, Killa Kela, give it to you all. Exclusives and more.
That's right.
And let's remind ourselves, what's the date, by the way?
Sunday, 17th of August, live from the Brixton Blues Kitchen. Make sure you grab your tickets. There are some early bird tickets still available, which you can get on Eventbrite. Yeah, you definitely want to be here, man. You don't want to miss that. It's going to be a very special event.
Yeah, real talk. So yeah, we'll add the link in at the bottom
Description,
of the thing.
yeah, of course.
Yeah, and we'll just get it popping. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. A real
Always,
special one for me personally. It's
Always.
awesome to have all of you on. It means the world. Yao, you know what to do. Pass the torch. 5th anniversary. Tai, rest in peace, and you will always be celebrated on this podcast, my friend. Killa Kela podcast out like in was out of fashion. All right. Remember, crime don't pay, but neither do they. Don't talk to her, and I wouldn't. And stay lucky, people. Easy.
That's a fact. Yeah.